Hi. Welcome to Wicked Paranormal Radio. It is Wicked Wednesday, and I am your host, Amy.
And I'm your other host, Kevin.
Welcome
to the show. I'm your guest, Ronie.
Tonight we have one of our favorite people, Ronie Dee, on the show. And just real quick, we're going to do a little sidebar on our week before we bring Ronie back on. Somebody got very angry with us last week because we talked about things before we brought our guest on, and they didn't like that. But I'm letting everyone know
that we're going to talk
for just a minute. But it's not that we've forgotten about you or that we don't love you. It's just because this is what we do.
And knowing Ronie, he'll probably chime in anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'll be quiet. I promise.
No, you don't have to be quiet.
No.
Unless it's something I can add to.
There's that.
It's very possible.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna let you start. Like, have you had anything ghosty happening in your house this week?
Just the same as what we talked about last week, that I had forgotten about, just because it happens like as I'm going to bed, where all of a sudden the dog will bark.
Oh yeah. We have more of that.
Yeah, I have had more of that, and she actually went to the bedroom door that was closed, like something was on the other side of the door. So
did you open it?
I did not open it. I was in bed. I'm like, I'm comfortable. I don't care if something's out there.
Like, if it's my time to go, come on
in.
I feel like that half the time. I'm like, you know what? I heard that.
It's a king size bed. Come on, there's room for everybody.
I'll scoot over. The demons can snuggle in. It's fine. We'll all be fine.
Yeah.
I'll turn on the electric blanket for you in case you're cold. But yeah, no, I feel that because sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I had a good run.
Yeah.
I had a good run, and if it's my time, it's my time.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
What about you?
Nothing really like ghostly has happened that I could really put my finger on, like usual, because it's like I play the game. Is it a ghost or is it a cat? And do I really have the energy to get up? Probably not.
No.
And again, if it's my time, it's my time. I mean, Now, I did have something interesting happen to me this week. It involved a hot dog.
Ronie, your subtitles are showing, buddy.
So, I did accept a new job position on Friday, but thank you. Still at the same company I've been with for, most of my life. That was a little exaggerated, but close. I mean, 20 years. Yeah. That's like,
yeah. And you're like
almost
27, 28. So yeah.
Yeah. Like my whole life. Since I was a baby, I've been working there
since middle school.
So anyways, they did a thing, for us to come, and they called it a spring fling, and it was rodeo themed.
Oh yeah. Why not?
I can tell you why, but I won't because I don't know who's listening. Anyways, they had hot dogs and hamburgers for us. Like you could choose, if you whatever you wanted, and there was like beans. I don't eat baked beans.
Oh, neither.
Sweet beans are disgusting.
Yeah, no,
beans
I don't know what
not supposed to be sweet.
What's the hooplas about with baked? I'm just like, I just give me another hot dog.
Yeah, or some just plain beans.
Or potato salad.
But they don't. It depends on who's making the potato salad.
I'll give you that.
You don't want any Yankees making your potato salad because it's going to be weird.
Yeah, it will be weird.
Ronie. And I don't eat coleslaw because that's just.
Again, it's got to be made right.
Yeah, most of the time it smells like farts.
Yeah, and it can't be like soup.
No, it's just nasty. It's like a super overly wet salad.
No.
No, I don't do coleslaw.
So anyway, about this hot dog.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take my food to go because at our first meeting at 9:00, they gave us breakfast. So, and it was bacon, and I do love bacon.
I do love bacon.
and bacon, eggs, and biscuits, right? So it was like good. Like, I really wasn't hungry. So I took my hot dog to go. And I got home, and y'all know, if you know me, you know I don't have a microwave. So I said, I'm going to heat my hot dog up in the air fryer.
I mean, it's a logical choice.
I mean, that's how I eat
would
up
think
everything else.
I would think it'd make it really good.
It would have, had I not forgotten about it for a little bit. And then I was like, oh yeah, my hot dog is cooking. And I was like, oh, it's going to be like, so it did make the bread a little bit harder than I had anticipated. And then I was like really hungry at that point, and I bit into it, and the juice shot into my mouth and burned the entire top of my mouth. And I would say 80% of my tongue.
No.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm so hungry. And I'm like, this is going to be so good. It smells lovely. It was beef. They advertised on the thing, beef hot dog, because I only eat the beef hot dogs.
Yeah.
Because I only want the cow buttholes as opposed to the pork and the chicken buttholes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, it was really hot. And I had let it sit for a minute. But then I just got really hungry and I didn't think about the consequences.
Yeah.
And so I bit into said hot dog and the juice scalded my entire. I was like you do that sound where you're like, and then like, what's going to make this better? So like, even today, like now, I know they say your mouth heals faster than anything. So this morning I was brushing my teeth and I brushed my tongue and part of it tickled. So I was like, okay, well, I guess part of my tongue is healing. Some of it's still working. Yeah. That's what happened to me. I burnt myself on work. Can I have workman's comp for that? Like, probably not, because it happened after I got home.
Were you on the clock?
Yeah.
And it was their hot dog?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ma'am, what's the nature of your lawsuit?
Hot dog squirt in my
I bit
mouth.
into a hot dog and it squirted in my mouth and it burned my entire mouth. So that's what happened. Are you from the South? You don't like big?
I know.
I am. I know.
know.
Look, Brooke, I understand that I should enjoy those things, but I just don't think that beans are supposed to be sweet. It bothers me a little bit. It gives me an ick.
It does, yeah.
Beans aren't supposed to be sweet. It's kind of, I put it in the same category as I don't feel like pineapple belongs on pizza. Oh.
I love pineapple.
Let me guess.
Pizza.
You love the baked beans too, don't you?
Oh, I'm not a fan of baked beans, but pineapple on pizza is delightful.
Yep. I'll give you that. I do. Have you ever had it though, or are you just like
gross? Because my ex-husband used to like that.
Oh well, that's probably why you don't like the pineapple.
Maybe
pizza.
it's like a bad, like it's giving me like a bad juju.
You got a bad batch.
Ew. But the baked beans, they're sweet, and I just don't think beans should be sweet.
I mean, I have had some where I was like, oh, okay, if they tasted like this, I would eat them.
But most of the time, they don't taste like that. No. They come like somebody's just dumped a can of Bush's baked beans in a freaking crock pot. And it's like, I made these myself. No, the fuck you didn't. Those came out of a can, and they taste terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get some haters for this.
Yeah.
And now coleslaw. Now, maybe if it's done correctly, but if you're typically at these types of events,
it's not done correctly.
It's not done correctly. It's come out of like a pre-made bag or something, not like homemade.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a difference.
With a packet that you squirt in there and stir and you're done.
Right.
Yeah. No.
I also don't like bread and butter pickles. I'll just go ahead and put that out there. No, a pickle should be a dill pickle. It should not be sweet.
I agree-ish because all of my life I couldn't stand sweet or bread and butter pickles.
Right? But now that you're old, you're like, yum.
I wouldn't go yum.
Are you going to go get some Werther's down in the corner?
Werther's?
It's like candy. You can go get some Werthers on your way to play bingo.
Maybe to make shots,
Shit.
woman.
Well, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're picking up your Werthers on your way to bingo, and when you get done, you're gonna have some coleslaw. That's a whole different.
Bingo night. Yeah, that's better
I
than
do
going
bingo.
to a bar when you're my age.
You don't eat beans before you go to bingo night, though.
No.
That's wrong.
So, but
That's
so
wrong.
you've had an eventful week.
I had the burning thing.
Mhm.
That was a lot for me. Other than that, it's been a slow week.
My week's been.
Well, hold on. There was that rodeo. I call it a rodeo.
The
It was a
rodeo that
rodeo
wasn't?
themed. Y'all,
No,
listen.
they boot scoot their boogie though.
There was no country music. I mean, there was no real country music. I think I heard Beyonce.
And she's female entertainer of the year.
Says who? P. Diddy? Who the hell voted for that? Who the hell voted for Beyonce to be country entertainer of the year? Who did that? It wasn't me. Because what does she know about country? No. And I'm not being rude. I'm just being real.
Hmm.
No. She beat out Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs.
But they're up for rapper of the year, so it's okay.
Perfect. I could see Morgan Wallen. He's going to be great as a rapper.
Yeah. So it all evens out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen has had more #1 hits in a year than any other country singer. He didn't win, but Beyonce did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the country music they were playing and they were doing line dancing, but it was like it's not. Like I was there in my real boots.
Line dancing.
I don't know what that song was that they were line dancing to called Boots on the Ground. Yeah. And then there was like they flap a thing and that's not line dancing to me. I don't really know.
I don't know.
Okay.
That sounds kind of interesting, I guess.
Some questions. What is this? Is that something we need to know?
It's like links.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Ronnie, how are you? How's your week been?
Well, I can't top a pickle/hot dog story, so I guess it's not very good. Uh-oh, I lost y'all.
So sorry. I don't know. Kevin did something. He pushed a button. Don't touch it anymore.
I'm not touching it ever.
I was a little nervous there. I'm like, oh, what do I do now?
I was
The
too.
hosts are
Like,
gone.
what have you done? I was like,
No,
what did you do?
I was moving the chat off of the links that were on there so we could see when people talked. And for some reason, as I clicked,
don't do it again. Don't show us what you did. I saw what you did. Now stop.
I'm just
Don't
there.
you touch it.
It was like being on the set with Johnny Carson, and he just gets up and leaves his desk, and I'm like, there you go.
You're on your own. On the show. Talk to
Yeah.
yourself for a minute.
So I apologize. This is my computer, and when I hit her mouse pad, it like right clicked or left clicked instead of right clicked, and it took us back. So
Oh, excuses.
Blame that on my computer?
no, I blamed it on me not knowing your computer.
Aren't all computers relatively the same?
They're kinda, yeah.
He's an IT guy.
Oh, what do you got? One of those Southern keyboards or something?
Guy. He's fixed computer.
I'm just used to mine, and so when I put my finger down real quick, I clicked at the wrong spot. It happens.
Premature clicking. It happens.
I wouldn't say it was premature. It was just I missed the. Normally, if you miss by that much, it's okay.
Off this show for your improper behavior.
My straight clickings.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did think of you while I was at the rodeo, Ronnie, because as we all
Thanks,
know,
Brooke. Thanks.
my face shows all the things.
Oh, subtitles, baby, subtitles.
Yeah, and so I know that I was looking at some of those people dancing, and I knew my subtitles were showing, and so I had to like consciously correct myself, like, stop, Amy, Fix your face.
You know what you should have done?
Fix your face.
When you're taking their picture, you should have been like.
I have to tell you guys, I have a blast being out with Amy and Heather and Jeff and everybody. But when we're in a restaurant or we're in public, we got to start putting masks over Amy. I mean, her subtitles are it's like we know exactly what Amy's thinking. Don't even have to ask her.
Listen, we all know what Brooke is thinking too. Brooke.
Well, you guys kind of have the same subtitles.
Yeah, we do. We came from the same subtitle schooling, and so we're like, yeah. Look at her face. You can know exactly what we're thinking by looking at her face. So I know my face was saying it all, and so I had to keep reminding myself to fix my face. So then I think I walked around with this really fake smile plastered on my face the whole time, like.
That looks kind of genuine, though.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Does it?
Yeah.
It just kind of stayed like this, and I was like, "Oh,
got to get the little Joker, like the little Joker lines here." So
yeah. Pretty much, I had to like paint the smile on, so I wasn't like showing everybody my like real face. Where I was like, I would not have chosen that outfit, but okay.
Brooke, top of the class, baby.
Oh, show.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, who put Kevin in charge of the button?
Yeah.
For reals. I don't know. He's not allowed to touch the buttons anymore. Do not touch the buttons anymore.
But that looks like
I'm going to do this other.
Look, it just wants to be touched.
No, we don't touch it. It's the don't touch. It's not like you're the president. Or think of it as you are the president and you're going to push the button that's going to blow us all up. Don't do it. You can blow the whole damn show up.
Okay.
Anyways.
That
Ronnie,
sounds kind of exciting. Push the buttons. Push the buttons.
You saw what happened last time we pushed the button. We went away.
Live a little.
It blew us up. You were fine.
Live a little. I agree with Kevin. Live a little.
No, we're not living a little today. Listen, I have lived a little for so long that I'm surprised that I've still made it this far. I'm about to have a really big birthday, and who knew I would make it this far? You, like a rock star.
So wait. Did you say you had a really big birthday?
I'm about to.
So how old are you going to be, Amy?
We're not going to talk about that on the show out loud.
27. We already covered that.
Come on, Amy. Did you hit your 40s finally?
Again, I'm turning 30.
Did you finally hit your 40?
Finally. I'm going to be 40. It's so exciting. I'm so excited about it.
Oh, no. When do you turn 40?
Which time?
When do you turn 40 this time?
Next month. At the end of next month.
Oh, so we're going to have a over the hill party for you over at the hospital.
The 31st, so the very last day of next month. So I get to push it as far as I can. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what is that, May? So the 31st of May?
Yeah.
Oh, to all of my OSPH and O volunteers who are watching and listening, it's time to play jokes on Amy on the 31st. Let's get her.
Let's get her.
Let's get her.
I'm frightened. I'm a little bit frightened.
Let's see. What are you signed up for that month there, Amy, at the hospitals? Let's see.
I don't have signed up yet. I'm here. I know I'm there at the end of this month.
May 31st. Well, I think that you should probably be there, one of those days in May, so we can properly teach or properly introduce you to the 40s. Third time over.
Wow. Third time over.
Or fifth.
See, I was being nice, and Kevin went right for the jugular.
He just had to go and
I'm old, so it's just
buttons.
fun at this point.
Fun for who? Anyway.
It was fun for us.
Yeah, good for you.
So,
anyway.
Good for you.
No.
Yeah,
can you guys, where's the light though? Amy, we can barely see you. You're like in the dark. It's like, ooh. No, it's not that. It's not there. It's just in the dark. It's like, ooh.
I'm in the back.
Put a
Scary.
spotlight on that beautiful
Scary.
face of yours there, Miss Amy.
It's because I only have one lamp in here. I need to.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
I see.
but God bless. He's that guy that you investigate with that always shines their light right in your eyes.
Oh, I
There's
know.
always-
You're walking down a dark hallway, and all of a sudden, it's like Heath. Remember Heath, and he's got the sun. You're like literally walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, it's whoa, and you're like blinded for like
hold
45
on, I
minutes.
can't walk. I gotta adjust my eyes to that. Yeah, there's always one. There's always one.
Brooke. Then I get to be 30. You get to be 40.
Okay, we'll do this, Brooke. We got this.
So now on Wicked Radio, we're gonna negotiate ages.
We are. We're doing it.
A 20 for you, what a 20 for you, what a 20 for you.
Everybody gets a 20.
I don't
Everybody
wanna
gets
be
a 20.
again.
No.
I certainly don't want to be 20 again.
Okay.
Nah.
A 30 for you and a 30 for you.
30s were fun.
Yeah. 30s were okay.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys wouldn't want to roll it back to like your high school days or your grade
Not
school
high school.
days?
Fuck high
No, and
school.
start it all over?
Mm.
No.
Now, my
Well,
early
In
20s, I
high
was a
school,
bartender.
one
so I
girl
would
wiped
do
a
that.
booger on my locker. No, I do not want to go back to high
At
school.
least, but think about all the changes and things you could do differently that if you had the chance to do it all over again, you could beat her up before she put the booger on your locker.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
Oh
you
wait,
know what?
we're not supposed to talk about violence on podcasts. So
Well,
you could.
yeah, we are listed as explicit.
You could bring her flowers.
Who decides that they're going to wipe a booger on someone's locker? Like, what is the thought process that goes behind that?
I don't know, but Amy, at least you're lucky, and Kevin will probably tell you the same thing. I don't know why guys do it at the urinal. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got one hand on their ding-a-ling going to the washroom, and they're like, and flicking, and there's like all in front of the urinal, and you're like,
Why?
I don't know.
I don't
Is this
know.
like an unspoken like guy rule?
I know because I'm not part of it. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I have never had my finger in my nose at a urinal.
No.
I'm gonna have to say that I have cleaned some bathrooms at the hospitals, and thank God I have never come across that. So I am glad that all the volunteers and the people that visit have outgrown that booger thing. Because
Maybe we're just lucky because we don't have urinals.
That's true, but y'all are still facing the wall when you're
Yeah,
peeing.
but it's like I've never seen one in like a toilet stall. But
Only
ask
in
Kevin, man, it's like behind the urinal. It's like loaded. It's like somebody cleaned off a year's worth of boogers out of their nose or something.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
I don't get it either. Never.
Have you ever done it?
No.
No.
Kevin's like, no.
So you're too. I'm too busy doing other things. You don't have to worry about
Not even once.
Have you seen someone do it?
Well, you don't look.
No, there's like an
can't
unwritten rule, like when you're going to the washroom, that it's like etiquette. Like you focus at the wall.
Yeah,
you don't do the looky over thing. You just
Okay, well, I'm not saying, but we all can like look forward, but you still have this peripheral. Like, have you ever seen someone?
Your peripheral, you pull in your peripheral and look right at the one top square. Right.
I'm with Kevin. I'd say honestly, in life, this is the one time men don't have peripheral vision.
Yes.
Like zero.
You zero in
shit down. Yeah.
Okay.
Like you literally focus on a booger that's on the wall in front of you.
Yes.
One. You're just like booger. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, Kevin, you have to admit, every once in a while you'll be in an airport or somewhere, and you sense the guy next to you trying to take a peek, and you're kind of like,
Yes.
dude.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a really odd situation.
That is odd.
Yeah.
Like, do you say something?
No, but the last time that happened to me, I was standing there and I felt him doing it, and I just went.
We're gonna make eye contact now, sir. Just so you know.
And the romance began.
Yes. And that's began the next 6 years of my life.
Where did you meet your boyfriend?
Well, we were in the airport and we locked eyes over a urinal.
And the cool thing was he had just cleaned out his nose. So it was all good.
He's the booger flicker champion of the world.
Men are so gross.
And then
No, that's not true because it's not all men. Because I've never done that, and I focus. So it's not a men thing. I think it's a
He's like,
some
it's
men
not me.
thing.
It's not me.
Who knows? It may be one guy
Just one
that
guy.
just has like a really bad nose problem.
And he goes all around
He's
the world.
everywhere.
Oh, I don't know. I've never. The only time I've ever actually witnessed somebody, like really digging is. You ever do that when you're driving down the road and you kind of look at the guy next to you, and all of a sudden you notice like one hand on the steering wheel and 2 fingers in his nose.
There's
You're like,
women that do that too.
Yes, I saw that the other day. I looked over and there was like this gorgeous woman sitting beside me in traffic, and I was like, "Oh, hey!" And about that time, she's like,
Oh.
I was like,
And you want to be like, people can see you.
yeah.
Just because you're in your car, if your windows aren't tinted dark enough, like illegally,
And they can't be
we can
tinted
see
dark
you
enough.
picking your
But
damn.
see, I don't think people think that. I think they're invisible when they're in cars.
I think people do think they're invisible when they're in the
Yeah.
Like literally, they're like this force field around their car. They can't see me.
Right. Well,
And
we're
you know
all
what? It's funny because whenever I'm driving down the road, and I used to drive back and forth to Tennessee, I never got to see the good stuff happening in cars. But I will tell you, I've saw a lot of people picking noses and doing other things they shouldn't be doing in cars. But I talk to all these truck drivers about how they're driving down the road and they get to see some fun things. Not me.
Yeah, not me either.
Yeah, I drove a truck for a while.
No, I get
And
that.
yeah, I saw a lot of
I have seen a lady
more than
shaving,
you would think you see.
Oh,
What?
I've heard.
shaving her beard.
Oh, her face?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like, how would I see that?
Well, if you're high enough to see
I drove a
that.
damn Kia. I can't look down on anybody, okay? Except for maybe somebody in a Toyota. Some dickhead Toyota.
Especially those Prius drivers.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
The Prius.
those.
The Prius tricks. That's what I like to call them. This is why our show is, not
And we're
good.
explicit.
We are
the Toyota-
explicit.
The
because I
Toyota
did-
Prius driver in the left-hand lane doing 15 miles under the speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this whole thing about like this guy that it was a state patrol, and he was like pulling people over because they're in in Atlanta. They were in Atlanta. So in Atlanta, that we have the lane that's for what do they call it? Carpool lane or whatever, like more than one person's in there, or taxi or whatever. They can drive in that lane, on the far lane, which used to be the fast lane, right? Okay, well the next lane over should now be the fast lane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That doesn't mean you get in that lane and drive the speed limit because people want to kill you. I shouldn't say that either because that's probably bad on the radio, but not really. I'm not really going to kill you.
But they do.
But
so
that's
it's okay.
And the guy's like, who's recording it, and he was like, he pulled this guy over because, and the guy's like, well, I was doing the speed limit. He goes, that's the problem. You're in a passing lane. He said, and that's why people get road rage. Absolutely. It's because those Prius drivers that are driving the speed limit or below in the fast lane, get the fuck over. That's what I have some horrible.
Yeah, now you can get tickets for being in the fast lane, driving.
Yeah.
Driving.
And they
so
should
my
give
dad
them
said,
to you. Because you know what the really sad thing is
not
I mean, you don't know if the guy behind you speeding is trying to get to the hospital, and you know what I mean? There's all different reasons why people speed. Some people like us just speed because we want to get the hell where we're going.
Right.
But if there's an emergency and
like
somebody's
speeding.
coming up on you quickly, they might be going to see somebody's last breath.
Right.
There literally might be a reason they're trying to get from point A to point B, and you're like, my Prius at 55 miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour zone.
Look how pretty I look in my Prius. Look at me, just a regular old prick in a Prius. Wiping my boogers on the urinals, and that's that guy.
Oh.
Now we know who's wiping their boogers at the urinal.
Oh, it's Prius Pete.
Prius Pete.
He's like, look at my pretty burgers. He's like,
Peter.
that guy. But yeah, this could be dangerous.
This could be really bad.
Big giant. Get down, ma'am. Okay, get up there. You can do it. I know you're big. Get on up. Here comes Ohana.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Don't talk to her. Makes
Here,
it
kitty, 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 kitty.
She's like, wait.
Oh, somebody's calling me?
Is that a
Somebody
quarter?
wants a piece of this. Somebody must want a piece of this. Calm down, Ohana. It's okay. Have a good night.
Oh, she sounds precious.
She's little. She
She's
is
on the
precious.
prowl though.
But like,
Oh, is it that time of
yeah,
the
and
year?
she's the only one that is not fixed, and because it's springtime,
Yeah.
every 2 weeks we hear this.
Well, we've got bobcat babies in the courtyard at the hospital. Yeah, you guys both at the same time. Oh,
What?
yeah. We have a mom bobcat who's been living at
Now?
OSPH for probably, I think this is her 3rd season there. And every year about this time, yeah, she has them in the courtyard, in the main courtyard. And we had the bench breaking broads out today. They were doing a daytime tour. They saw her dragging food back to the babies. It's kind of really neat. So yeah, so we have bobcat babies again. And we put a Ring camera out actually in the courtyard to hope that we can catch them, when they start coming out of, I don't know what you call it, a nest or I don't know what a bobcat has, but
Where is their nest?
it's right underneath the main air conditioning unit in the main courtyard.
Okay.
So yeah, so she had them last year, and I think 1 out of the 3 that she had actually survived. That we saw him grow or her grow from baby all the way up to hunting. And it's really, really neat. A lot of people don't realize OSPH is actually kind of a nature preserve. Last year we had baby foxes back there, which was amazing. Watching the foxes grow up.
So cool.
Yeah, we have deer back there. We have I think we had a huge beaver back there last year or the year before last. So it's really kind of neat. And then my favorite was we had armadillo babies. I think 3 or 4 years ago.
I'm stuck on the
He's
beaver.
still stuck on the giant
beaver.
He's still on the giant beaver. But you said, what was the last thing you said?
Armadillo.
Armadillos. I didn't know that armadillos lived in the mountains.
Well, we're kind of at the foothill of the mountain.
Yeah, I guess kind of.
Yeah.
Wait,
They were really cute. And it was such a shame because I was sitting on the back lawn and they actually came at me like wanting to play. So I'm like playing with them. I took a video, I put it on Facebook and everybody's like, don't touch them, you're going to get leprosy. Don't touch them, you're going to get a disease. You're going to die. I'm like, if you knew what we did as boys, when we were kids and the stuff we put in our mouths and the mud pies that we made and the creeks that we walked through, I'm like, this ain't nothing, honey.
The hoses that we drank out of, the windows that we rode in the back of the car, all those things, while our parents were smoking, there was ashtrays on the door handle.
Oh, I know.
And in the waiting room at the hospital.
On the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you guys, there is nothing worse than your dad packing up your mom, who's a chain smoker as well, too, and throwing you. You guys remember the old Dodge Omnis?
Mm-hmm.
My mom and dad every year in the summertime. Come on, guys, we're going to Florida. 18 hours in the car with my mom and dad, windows up, smoking like chimneys.
Chain smoking. Oh, yeah. I remember those days.
Oh, God, my eyes were watering.
Yeah. And you wonder how we all made it through all that. And now everybody's scared to touch the cart in the grocery store. Shit.
Well, what's funny is I don't think it affected us. It didn't affect us, but when we all went to breed and have children, that's probably why our children are all messed up.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're all raising we're the Gen X raising the Gen Zs. So the Gen Zs will have a little bit more to them than the millennials.
Well, they have a big carbon footprint in us from us. Tar, nicotine,
our hairspray.
That good stuff. Yeah, the hairspray.
I have the hair that was I had it all. My hair stuck straight up. I went to all girls Catholic school in 10th grade. It worked really well. Because my parents were trying to teach me a lesson. But anyways, no, I had the nun. I remember specifically, are you laughing? Mm-hmm. I remember specifically the nun telling me that my hair probably wouldn't fit in the picture. And I was like, perfect.
So you had one of the big waves going on?
I had the big bangs. Yeah. They were this tall. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was lovely.
I remember those days.
It was lovely. And I would roll up my past the knee length skirt.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was a lovely outfit that we had to wear. That was awful. It was itchy. Yeah. Look at me now. It didn't really help. Didn't make me a better person.
I second that.
I remember smoking with the priest.
Well, hey, if you were in Chicago, you did a lot more than that.
Yeah, well, I didn't. No, I didn't get involved in that. No, because I was a girl, probably. The Catholics are going to come after me now.
Anyways, how's the weather down there nowadays?
It's great. You know what? We've had a lot of
There's
pollen.
a storm brewing, I think.
There's a storm brewing.
Well, if I hear a knock on the door, I'm throwing this computer away and deleting.
Yeah, it's like delete everything. Smash your phone. They can still pull it from everywhere. I think people are surprised that they can't get away with more things than they can.
Well, when you take your phone to the murder scene and call your mom and say,
I'll be home.
What are you doing? Oh, I'm at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And they ping your phone to the location where they find the dead body, and you're like, I wasn't there.
Don't take your phone with you, you retards. Have you not watched anything on TV?
I mean, you know what? If you were smart, you watch a couple episodes of NCIS or whatever, and you can get away with murder. Literally. They teach you everything that you shouldn't do on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And then my favorite is then they catch you and they interview the neighbors. They were a quiet couple. Yeah. We never had any problems from them. As a matter of fact, we didn't see them much. Their lawn was always mowed and their house was painted. That awful smell coming from the garage, we couldn't figure that out.
We thought it was coming from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. But have you ever noticed that whenever they interview somebody, it's always, oh, they were a good couple. They were a quiet family. We never heard anything from them. Well, duh. Those are the ones that you worry about.
Yep.
It sounded like a freight train. It was just coming on through like a freight train. Like, do they really pick? Those are the people they always pick to talk about. And I'm not hating on anybody because I know we've all had a lot of like weather-related issues. But the people sometimes that they pick to put on the TV to talk about it, you're like, we could have, like if it happened on my street, all right, yeah, I could pick like one or two neighbors where I would be like, oh, don't talk to them. Okay?
But that's where they're going.
And that's exactly where they're going. They're going to go across the street to that OCD lady who counts every step she has to take. And she will not walk on her grass, and she will not walk on her street. These houses were built back in the 40s and the 50s, 60s, 40, 50s, 60s. So they have like along the street, they have that tiny little curb that's like made of stone. It's not very big. There's a sidewalk on my side of the street, but on her side, it's just this little raised rock thing. She has to walk across that because she doesn't want to touch the grass or the street to check her mail. Now, if she hasn't done it properly, she will do it 14 times.
What?
Yeah. That's the lady they're going to get to talk about the storm that comes through. Mm-hmm. They're going to get her, and she's going to have to redo it like 14 times. And God bless her. I know people, OCD is bad, but you need to be medicated, ma'am. There's medication that will help you with that. But it's painful to watch her do anything in the yard because I'm like, oh, man, I done watched it 10 times. I got to go inside. I need a drink. Like, shit.
She needs a drink.
She needs a drink. Maybe she'll be happier.
You need to walk over there and be like, ma'am.
Bless her.
Here's a shot.
And I don't know, her. Do you hear? Who was that?
No.
Devin?
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, I heard keys in my kitchen, and I was like,
I heard somebody moving around. I was like, that is definitely a person.
Yeah. And
we're glad you're here.
We would have heard Zach pull up. My son's truck.
How'd she get in without lighting up the?
I don't know. We just don't pay attention, apparently.
No, I've been looking out that window.
Did you have your lights on when you pulled in the driveway? It's just us. We were busy because
we're enthralled.
We have a very enthralling guest tonight.
Plus, we have to read his subtitles, so we're having to.
He's better at hiding the subtitles.
Sometimes.
Now, I probably shouldn't bring this up because somebody might be listening. Oh, she did send me a text that says, "I'm here, don't shoot." Well, it's okay to have my gun out, so it would have been. You could have been anybody.
No, and you'd have to enter the door for me to.
That cat might get you.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's like, nah. I might mean I have to run fast and look at me. Do I look like a runner? No.
No. She may have to waddle fast.
She could waddle fast.
Is she pregnant or is she just in heat?
No, this orange one is just
Big.
large.
Oh, just a large version of the.
Likes
really
her
large.
snacks. Well, you're making her sound huge now. You're like,
Well, you're the one that like
really
picked her up
large.
on the camera last
I did
week.
pick her up on the camera last week because
It like took
we
up
had-
the whole screen.
That was exaggerating.
Not much.
Because John had his cat on. John Howe. He had his cat.
Oh,
And his cat is sweet. So
you were comparing the kitties.
yeah.
Yes, they were. Had front row.
Anyways, I don't know what to do with him.
I'm not lying. I was right here. God, you're the one reading into things.
You act like
Subtitles. Put on that happy face.
look at it. It's convincing, right?
You know what's funny is
If you didn't know me,
how
if you knew
many
me,
times
you'd
you
think
see that on the show though.
the fake smile.
Yeah, because it looks so like pleasant, and from that shot, it
But
'cause
like,
it-
if you really know me and you were next to me and you were
You'd be
actually
like-
looking at me, you'd be like, "You look like a serial killer right now."
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I can only fake it for so long.
What's in your attic, Amy?
I don't know, because there's a man up there. I think
there's a man up there.
there's a man in my attic.
The one that you chopped up down the road a couple of weeks ago?
Know your business.
What? No, not that one.
Not that one.
Oh, no, that
This
one's
was
out
way
back.
before that.
That was before that. Yeah, this one is a couple of years old.
Oh, my
It's
Lord.
fine.
He haunts the garden. Oh, sorry.
That's why my garden grows.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
That sounded terribly creepy. Not really. I couldn't bear anything here except for maybe animals because, like, I'm on limestone. My house is built on.
Oh,
That's why you have to chop them really small.
So
yeah.
Hey,
limestone brings like some echoes that you can't even imagine, like in this house. So when it thunders, my whole house thunders because it hits that, the limestone starts and then the Pentecostal in the church behind me, there's some Pentecostals who are having some sort of a club down there on Sundays. It doesn't sound
it's
like
stripping
church
for
music.
Jesus down
It
there.
sounds like stripping for Jesus.
Well, they just had a special on TV just the other day so there was a church, and right next door to the church, they opened up a strip club. And so the church people were actually complaining about the strip club. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here. What are you doing at a church at night?
That.
Right? So
They
I
were
thought,
just mad that they go to the strip joint and somebody at the church may see them.
well, I thought they would get along really well. I mean, you've got a business that only happens during the daytime, and you got a business that only happens in the nighttime, and they're sharing a parking lot. Isn't that like the perfect neighbor?
Mhm.
Yeah, and then if you're a church person, it just looks like you're working at the church instead of at the strip club.
Right. Exactly. So you can get away with it.
It's a good cover for you. So
Yeah,
stop
and
complaining.
at either one, you may hear, "Oh, Jesus." So
Yeah.
Sorry, Jesus. It's not me. I'm just an accomplice.
that's a good thing. Is one of us is the other one's accomplice at something
That's
I think on a daily basis,
on a daily basis.
yeah.
maybe even hourly.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I know. I've been around you two. I just point fingers.
I don't know. I have some other accomplices too that when I'm at the hospital, like Heather and Jeff. Mostly Jeff.
Mostly
Heather's
Jeff.
like the mom. Heather's the one that's like trying to make us both behave.
Well,
Until
Jeff is Mr. No filter.
Well, Jeff has introduced me to his biker friends as the female version of him.
Oh no. Dun dun dun.
It's not inaccurate.
So when you buying your Harley and you're putting your tattoos on?
I got tattoos.
Okay, when
I
you
got
buying
a
your
lot of
Harley?
tattoos. I don't know that I could balance a Harley. It would have to have.
It'd have to be a really little
It'd
one.
have to be like a tricycle one.
Mhm.
Oh, a trike. Yeah, you could do that.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Because
You may have to raise the pedals, but other than
I
that.
could see biker Amy, right?
do it. Yeah.
Sleeves rolled up,
Yeah.
giving people a
Rolling
subtitle.
in like that'll give me a whole new. It looks scary, right?
Well, I'll buy you a full face. What do you call it? Full face helmet so nobody can see them. Then
I
you can
need
get away
that.
with all you want.
Yeah. Then nobody can see the resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Because now I do, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I do know someone who has a much better resting bitch face than I do. I think she might be in the chat room. And I love you for it. I'm very jealous.
Oh no! You can't do. You got to give a hint.
You know who it is.
I was about to say, dude.
I do.
All right, chat room. Do
Wow.
you want to help us out? Because you know who you are.
You know who you are.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
But
But see, I can't see who's in the
That is
chat room,
so
so that's not fair.
look at how
That
sweet.
is sweet.
It's so sweet. It's someone that you know
If
who
I
has
if
a
I
better
could,
resting bitch face than I do.
if I could see who's in the chat room, then I would know. But I can't see it, so it's kind of an unfair advantage.
I can only see one name in the chat room.
Oh, she's gonna hunt you down and kill you guys.
Why? She
If
is
you're talking
not.
about her giving a resting bitch face,
I said it was spectacular. She's not going to hunt me
Oh.
down for that. I said
no, she wouldn't
you
have to because
win.
we'll find you eventually.
Well, right. It's not like I don't show up. I mean, everybody. I'll be there. But no, I have to say it is spectacular. And
Really? See, I've never seen her have a resting bitch face, but I have definitely seen the subtitles flowing.
The subtitles, yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
her and you with this. It's kind of funny too because if we put you two across from each other and I sit in the middle, it's a whole novel. Like I can go back and forth and get
the
a whole
last public
chapter at a
event,
time.
he was in the middle of us.
Yeah.
So
Remember the one time we were at Harriman and I'm watching the two of you give, and I'm like, it was like a tennis match. And I knew exactly what was going on.
I was
And
trying
neither one
to
of you
eat.
had to verbalize anything. Like there's no verbalization going on. And I see some people walking through the hospital and you're making your sub. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is entertaining. It was like watching one of those Kung Fu movies where they've got to put the, what do you call it, under the bottom? Because they're speaking Chinese or Japanese or whatever. And there's the subtitles. All I got to do is read. The two of you communicating back and forth with subtitles was like, Godzilla.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's great.
We didn't have to say a word.
No, it's extremely entertaining. And then what's really funny is when some other people look at you too and they're like, oh, they're communicating back and forth and they're not saying anything. I wonder if they're doing that about me.
Probably. If
More
you
than
have
like,
to wonder, it's probably you. Yeah.
I'm like, if you only knew, because trust me, I do. And you might want to leave this room right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a real thing.
It is.
It is real. So I'm gonna go make us the shots. Can you talk from? What are you looking at?
A light just lit up right there, outside.
Like a ghost light or like a?
I don't know. Are fireflies out yet?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
It must have reflected off something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close the blinds so you'll stop tripping.
All right.
Oh,
Do you want to come over or you want to sit there?
I'm chill right here.
You're chilled right there.
don't do right now, so just watch us.
She's fixing the blinds.
I know how to fix blinds.
Fix them blinds.
Fix them blinds.
Ask them a question.
Ronnie.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
Kevin.
So what do you have going on at the hospitals?
Absolutely nothing.
He's
Really?
wondering why your ass ain't showing up again. No.
I'm showing up. I'm showing up. I got a message on my phone that says contact Ronnie. So I'll contact you, Ronnie.
What if we sit here, maybe we can give each other looks.
Yeah.
I don't think you got it like that.
No, we don't.
No, not all.
No.
Not at all.
We're kind of stupid to looks. They give them
Mhm.
to us and we're like, duh, what does that one mean?
Yeah, really. And everybody
It takes
else
us
is
right? It takes us like 4 or 5 times to see the same look when we realize, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. What'd I do?
Yeah.
We were warned. Like a long time ago. No.
A long time ago. Oh yeah.
So you really don't have anything coming up?
We do. I'm just being a smart ass, you know. So no. So I think we're about ready to announce a couple of events here we have in September, and I think one in October. Let me see here. What was the dates? I think. Let's go back here. So I think in September we got two of my favorite guys coming back. Where's the date?
Oh, I didn't know I was going to be there.
Three of my favorite guys will be there. I think September and 12th and 13th, we have the Wraith Chasers back. They're going to be at OSPH on Friday night, and they're going to be at O on Saturday night. So we've got them coming back. And then the long-awaited overdue. Oh, where did they go? Oh, did I not put them on the calendar? Uh-oh. The long-awaited overdue that we're so looking forward to is we're having Brian and Rochelle come back with Cody and Satori, and I think they are scheduled for someday.
Oh, cool.
Let's see here. When did I schedule them? Well, this might be an issue. Let's go through our handy-dandy little thingy here.
Handy notebook.
Oh, they are on the 29th and 30th. So they'll be at Old Harriman Hospital on the 29th, and they'll be at South Pittsburgh on the 30th.
Very cool. Very
Oh,
cool.
yeah, there they are, Brian and Rochelle. So, yeah, Brian and Rochelle, I love the Wraith Chasers. We have such a great time investigating with them. Great personalities, great investigating skills. But Brian and Rochelle, when they come out, oh, my God, it's like a family reunion. They are two of probably the nicest people I've ever met in the paranormal. And Rochelle and Brian are just, they're a trip together. I mean, they're kind of like you and Amy. They like to play around, like to goof around, like to investigate. And then we had Cody and Satori out with them, I think it was 2 years ago. So they're coming back in August, and Cody and Satori are really super people. So we're really excited about that. And I think this is the first time we're actually announcing these events. And then there might be something going on in October, and we're working out a real big event for October as well, too. So we're putting that together. So it might be a little time before I know 100% if we're doing it or not. But yeah, that's what's kind of coming up at the hospitals. In terms of public events, everything else is kind of status quo. We just are doing, private hunts and all other good stuff. I will tell you, if you're trying to book OSPH, we are out of Saturdays until I think November.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think O has got a couple of dates in October and a couple of dates in August on the weekends, and that's it. They're all booked up as well, too. So, if you're trying to get your last-minute paranormal fix in and you want to come to two of the most haunted hospitals in, I would say, all of America, give us a call or text us and let us know when you're ready to come down, and we'll see if we can squeeze you in somewhere. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Brooke and I take reservations every day in this last, I'd say maybe 10 days, 12 days. Our phones are like off the hook. I mean, it's like crazy the amount of tours we're taking this last couple of weeks. And so we're really excited. I know we've got some people coming from out of country, which is really exciting.
That's cool.
When you get a phone call from an English guy and he's like, "Hey, I heard your and I can't do it, so forgive me, but they got the hello, that little accent from England.
Yeah.
It's like, we're coming from jolly old England.
It's gonna be a bloody good time.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, that's something that's really cool. I think we've got England, or we got England coming. We got New Zealand coming. I think we got somebody from Ireland coming. So it's kind of neat. It's really kind of neat when you get some international, tourists who are coming out to enjoy your locations and that kind of stuff. So
that's amazing. And where, just for any of our listeners that may not know where to find you to book, where can they get a hold of you?
Oh, just call Amy and Kevin, and their personal phone numbers are 20. No, I'm just kidding.
Right here.
Yeah, you guys. No, don't do that. We might blow your phone up. You can reach us. You can reach us on our website at osphprc.com or oldhistorichairmanhospital.com. Two easiest ways to find us. Or obviously you can go on Facebook and do Haunted Old South Pittsburgh or Old Historic Harriman Hospital. Either one of those means will get you there. And then we don't do online calendars, primarily for the safety of the hospitals and for our guests, because the problem is if you're not 100% booked, it gives people the idea of when they can show up and they think nobody's there, even though we've got some great security systems.
I think that's very.
I think I've learned in the past that it's a really good idea not to put your availability calendar out there, just because if somebody goes online They know when the building's occupied, when it's not occupied, and it gives people the opportunity to do some pretty terrible things. And as a building owner, I've talked to a lot of other building owners, and there's a lot of people who try to break in because they think nobody's there, and a lot of us
always there.
Oh yeah. But I was going to say a lot of us put some pretty intense camera systems in. I mean, well, Amy, you about 500, 600 feet before you even get to the building, we know you're there. So, and the police departments know you're there. And so
and they can, and y'all can, because you've scared me, because you talk to me on the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So
he enjoys doing that.
I know.
I do. I love when you guys walk up to the door and I do the, and Amy turns around and she's looking.
If I'm by myself, I'm like, usually have 1,400 things I'm carrying. And then I'm like, fuck, I got to put everything down because I got to get it. You got to go through all of your rigmarole to get the key, to get the door, to get the, And then if he comes on there, luckily I haven't been coming in at night.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've been in a hallway.
And he's talking.
And all of a sudden he starts talking to us.
Yeah, he scared me at Harriman a few times.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think we've got 1 or 2 rings throughout the building that I communicate with you guys with. They go off when we do investigations, obviously. So there's no interference with any of the investigations. But when my crew is there and we need to find you or whatever, that's a great way to communicate. Or scare you. But I think it's really funny a lot of times too, because when we have this really funny story, it was hysterical. And I think I shared it to our personal private page, the South Pittsburgh. So we had these 4 gentlemen who pulled up to the side of the building on Jim's side, and you see them kind of sneaking up, and they're like looking in the windows, and really you just keep an eye on them, because a lot of people are really harmless and they're just curious and they're gonna pop in the windows. Well, it was funny because I saw a screwdriver come out, and I'm like, oh, I know now we're up to no good. So it was really funny. I happened to be watching Halloween at the time. And so I got on the ring. And as I got on the ring, Jamie Lee Curtis screams because, Michael Myers is coming at her, and the boys stopped dead in their tracks. And they were 4 black guys. They turned literally white. I mean, it was funny. They turned white and you see them run. And as they're running away, one of the guys is like, holy shit, this place really is haunted. And I'm like laughing because it was just the perfect time or whatever. Well, it was funny because the police department actually sits across the street, and the police were on their phone just about ready to call me because they parked across the street and they were wanting to know, whose car that was and other stuff. Well, as they're walking back to the car, the police officers are standing like right there. And he's on the phone with me, and I was like, yeah, I said, don't arrest them. They didn't really do anything. I said, but I would recommend that you give them a little talk about, the screwdriver that one of them had in the hand, and the intent was there, but they didn't get in. Right. And so I guess they give them a little lesson about how it's patrolled and all that other stuff. And we watched the whole thing, and they never came back. I think they came back a couple of weeks later and actually paid $35 to come do a day tour, which I think is really, really funny because when you break in, I think the minimum fee is like $500. So I always, if you get caught, it's like $500.
It's cheaper to come for a day tour.
Yeah, I said, for $35, so, and I can tell you a story about that too. So when we were filming Destination Fear a couple of years ago, they were out, and Destination Fear had all their cameras in the building, and all right, I got my iced tea. But so we're filming Destination Fear, and this guy comes up to the front. It was me, Daniel, Darla, and a couple other people. And he comes up to the front. He's kind of like nosing around. Can I go in? Can I do this? And we're like, well, no, they're filming inside. He was like, no, come on, man. We're like, no, you can't go inside. Well, Destination Fear left a lot of the doors open to kind of air the building out. So Darla was at sixth sense. She goes, something's really not right. So she gets up, and her and Daniel kind of walk through the building. Guess who's inside the building? The dude that just asked us to go in the building. And
you just said no.
Yeah, we said no. So we drag him out and all that other stuff, and he comes out to the front, and we call the police because at that point in time he broke in, and so the police officer comes and arrests him. So we found out that it cost the guy about $2,900 because it was Friday. So, and the court system doesn't work on the weekend. So he was in jail Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He had his arraignment Monday morning. Well, because he was in jail, they towed his car because his car was over at the church parking lot.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he was actually in town for like business, and he was going to like a some, what do you call that, convention that was in Chattanooga that he missed. So he ended up getting fired from his job too. So like he lost all this stuff because if he would have paid $35 on Sunday when Destination Fear had gone away, he
Yeah.
wouldn't have had the issue. But instead, it cost him like $2,900 in court costs and the car tow and his job. You know, because you know he didn't show up to the convention, and so he actually called us.
Got
Like,
arrested.
yeah, he called us like a week after he got arrested. He's like, "I am so sorry," you know, blah blah blah. And I was like, and he asked us to press the, you know, drop charges, and I was like, "Well, I can't." I said because it was the police that were pressing charges because you hadn't. If you would have parked in the parking lot, I guess then we would have had to press charges. Because he parked in the church's parking lot a block away, that was intent. And so they got him on intent to break in.
Yeah.
So the police officer, as soon as he asked him, you know, where'd you park? He was like, well, I parked in the church parking lot. So he's like, so you intended to break in? And the guy looks at him and goes, yeah. So you're like, okay, well, you kind of just
smart ones out there.
Well, you know, so look, just the moral to the story is if you guys want to go, don't break in, just give us a call and come do the day tour.
Yeah. Just do the day tour.
Just the day tour.
Yeah, or if you're feeling brave, you know, come to a public event.
Oh,
come
yeah.
at night.
Where Amy will flash you with her subtitles.
I will. I promise. Do something and I will.
They're never not on.
No.
It will judge you.
She's getting better though.
I am trying.
A little bit. See, there it is.
Really?
It works, right? People don't know.
Yeah.
Like if you look, I'm looking at the cat right now.
But I will tell you, like, Amy's you've been working for us for how many years now? Like 3 years? Been this your third year? So it's really funny. So the first 2 years, Amy and I avoided each other because I think she felt that I didn't care for her very much or whatever the hell her excuse was. Maybe I'm just too ugly and she didn't want to be around me or whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so what was it like, 9 months ago maybe? She walks up to me and she finally got the cojones to like walk up to me and say, hey, why don't you like me? And I was like, I don't even know you. Like, remember? I was like, I don't even know you. I mean, I got this impression that you just don't like me. And now we're like best friends. Yeah. I mean, when Amy comes to town, it's like we have a blast. I mean, she's just like, I'm like, it took us like, 2 years to actually get to know each other. And now we're like, when we get together, like all of us, we just have such a blast. I know Brooke laughs her ass off with you. We just all like really, you know, gel together. And then you throw, oh my God, you throw Jeff and Heather into the mix and, oh, look out world. Yeah.
You know, and we usually travel they come by themselves a lot, but then a lot of times I'm along with them. So it's like
it's a blast. I mean, Amy, what a great team we've got. I mean, with Amy and with Amy and everybody. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have a great team.
It's just so much fun. You throw Rhonda in there. I think Rhonda is one of my favorites to watch on the camera.
Oh my God, I love Rhonda.
I know when she's doing her little limp through the hospital, and you're kind of like, she just cracks me up. Cracks me up.
She's not scared of anything.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I've never met a woman 3 o'clock in the morning. She's walking the hospital like, yeah, no big deal. I mean, she's got that real nice gun sitting on her shoulder or on her, what do you call it, her waist, but
right, but she's just I think the spirits protect her there too.
Oh yeah.
She is well protected there.
Oh yeah. She's just phenomenally funny too. I mean, she just like I said, just walks through that hospital, and I think it's really funny when she starts yodeling down the staircase, and she's like calling out the spirits, and she's like, hey. And the funny thing is you'll be watching her, you'll literally, you can hear them talking back to her. You're like, who's that?
They know her.
They do know her.
They're comfortable with her, and that it's her. It's, you know, and I think, I don't know. I think I have more because I did Old South obviously before you took over. I was there several times before you took over. So I feel like I kind of have that, I feel like no, we don't want to restart. Thank you, though. Appreciate you, computer. I don't know. You start to, the spirits start to know you and they recognize you. They protect you.
Well, it was kind of funny because I was actually having this conversation with somebody today and I'm not going to give a name, but who's in the paranormal celebrity world, who's been filmed and has been on multiple shows. And I think it's really funny that like none of the production companies have gone after any of the owners to like do a show based off of like ownership or based off of like the experiences that us as of owners, or even like you guys are volunteers who are in the hospitals or wherever they're at, whatever location they're at, so much that, I mean, we've got so many stories to tell. And I think if a camera person were to walk around, and follow Rhonda or follow me or follow our volunteers, I mean, you would get so much activity. We don't have to actually sit in a room with devices to have stuff happen.
No,
because we're in the, I mean, and you know that. I mean, how many times have we been walking down the hall and we've heard voices or something's opened or closed or, I mean, and I think it's kind of neat. But I think the other thing that's really funny is, which would make great TV is, I mean, if they were to actually get into like the past the paranormal, but like the fun that we have as a group, like when we're fixing stuff and when we're, and I think it would be really neat to show like the other side of the paranormal, the fun that we all have together, like the jokes we play on each other, like, when we're fixing stuff and, the trials and tribulations and, when your roof is caving in on you and you're getting soaked and poor Jeff has got, I mean, there's just so much more aspects to the paranormal. And I think if somebody were to throw a production company together and go to a couple of different building owners and follow us around and do that kind of thing, it would make for just dynamite TV, like dynamite.
Much more so, I think, than having the people that aren't that the spirits aren't familiar with. You have, celebs come in and do all this, Sometimes I think the spirits are a little bit like, I don't know you.
Well, and you're putting them kind of in the position where it's a dog and pony show. I mean, you're throwing cameras in their faces. You're throwing cameras in their hospitals. You're trying to make them perform for the camera.
Yeah. Well, and something else to think about is when you're doing a production, when you're doing a show that is based on having to put a ghost on a plate every week, you're going to have to rely on something to keep your audience.
Right.
And
we don't want to go down that alley there, Amy.
No,
but on the shows, there's been shows out where
people watching
every week it's a new demon.
There's not a new demon every week.
And no, but your idea is, it's exactly what I've always said, because I've been presented, I've been doing it for, Historic Ghosts has been around for 21 years. And we've been, propositioned, for lack of a better way to put it, from, different
proposition.
Oh, girl,
wow,
I got stories. No, but by different shows saying, we're wanting to put together this show. Are you interested? And I've always said that if a show could come up with a premise, a footprint that doesn't rely on having to have a ghost on a plate every week, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Right.
And what's cool about your idea is that is exactly what this does. If it goes a week without a story or whatever time frame you need for the next episode, there's still plenty of other things going on that would make good TV.
Well, yeah, even like the preparation we do when the ghost, when the Wraith Chasers show up, or, what it takes for us to get the buildings ready for a public investigation, and, the meetings that we have before, and the, all the organizational stuff. I think a lot of people don't, outside of the paranormal, they don't see what we do on a regular day. Like I said, they don't see building owners falling through a roof regularly, or, what I mean? And I think, or like, when our maintenance guy tries to fix the toilet.
Falling through the roof again.
Ronnie.
He's just falling through the roof again.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Whoopsie.
But falling through a roof regularly?
It can happen.
Well, it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I wouldn't say regularly, but I'd say it's happened a couple of times in the last couple of years. You know, I
More
mean,
than
you put your
It
foot in
does.
the wrong place. You know, you put your foot in the vent hole, and you end up, you know, ending up
Whoops.
halfway in the
I had
building.
reporters every time I put my foot in the wrong hole.
Oh,
What? God.
She did good covering up that face that time.
I did. I looked away.
But I mean, I think there's just, you know, I mean, one of the things that I think was really funny is we were trying to fix a toilet a couple years ago at Harriman, and I forgot to connect something, and I turned the valve on, and it squirted on my face. And I mean, that makes for really good TV. You know, I mean, like you said, so
Absolutely.
if you have an episode where you don't necessarily get something paranormal, there's so many other directions that you could go, whether it's prepping for for the wraith chasers to be at the event, or even some of the processes that Brooke or I or everybody goes through to book it, you know, to book people, and some of the questions we get, because we get some doozies. I mean, and no offense to anybody, but you know, you get some really, really unique questions that people ask you, and you know, and working through those situations, you know, like, how many demons am I going to see in your building? Or, I mean, there's just so many different aspects, and it's just, I think it'd be entertaining.
Oh,
And I think there's a
absolutely.
lot of
I mean,
really colorful,
And-
you know, owners out there as well too, who we're just goofballs.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and then you have your whole staff too. That's like something ridiculous is gonna happen to all of us.
Well, yeah, we got to
I
find
myself
if we
have
do it though.
phone.
If we do it though, it's definitely got to be on a network where language and certain conversations are, you know, because we do get into some pretty R-rated conversations.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, us ghost hunters are not. We're not.
No,
We're not. Yeah,
listen to the show.
We're not demure. We're not cutesy.
I was gonna say we're
demure.
pretty unfiltered from time to time.
You know, like we're not demure or cutesy. None of that's happening. None
No.
of us are those people.
No, not at all.
I myself have had an incident, you know, that happened
Mhm.
in the ambulance bay. I took my dear friend, with me. She was trying to save me. Heather tried to save me, but it was too late. I took her down with me. Yeah, in the ambulance bay. So I got some scars for it. I got holes in both hands when it happened. I mean, it was a good time. You know, you just don't know. But like, she goes, I thought you were dead because you just laid there. I was like, no, because I was laying there going, damn, where are the cameras? Who saw this happen?
But so where was this? Which hospital and what happened?
It was at Old South. I was in that. Jeff told us not to. Jeff said he had an incident happen to him after he went into the x-ray room on Shadow Hall and was playing with the buttons. He said, and this was a time before, I was there. He said, yeah, and he had come out of the room and he said he felt like someone had kicked him in the back of the knees and he fell. And he's a big dude.
Don't push the buttons.
Yeah, like don't stop. You're not supposed to be touching that. Like, no. And he said when he went in there, he was kind of being a little, you know, like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this, you know, a little bit, but not, you know. I was like, cool, because that's who I am. And I'm like, let me try. So I did. He's told me the story. Then hours later, I'm like, it was Heather and I. He was in the crew room. Heather and I were walking down the halls, making sure everything was good. You know, we were, you know, doing chores, whatever. And I went to go grab that bucket that's in the ER. That square.
Yeah, the red one.
Yeah. And I was like, and Jeff's like, don't do that. I'll do it. He had told us that before we went off on our adventure. And I was like, no, I got this. Really, I can do this. I'm strong. Mm-hmm. So I picked it up, and it was heavy, and I was like, I got this, and I waddled it like it says splashy, and I'm walking to the ambulance ready to go and dump it outside, and then I don't know what I went to dump it, and I fell. I don't even remember it. Like it happened like when I fell at that antique store where Jeff saw it happen. That's how I felt. Like I felt myself going through the air, like I'm gonna fall. But at the antique store, I was like, I don't want to break all this glass. So I didn't. I broke myself, but I didn't break any glass. And at that point, I didn't break the trash can that the water was in. I did get covered in questionable water. But Heather saw it happening and she went to grab me to like pull me back, and she went down with me. So then she got up and she was like, I thought you were dead. Because I didn't get up right away because I was like, oh my God, where are the cameras? It's like, who just saw that happen? Somebody just watched that on camera happen. Thankfully not. No one saw it.
What was the date on that?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
What time?
No.
Yeah, I just need a date. Just because they're motion censored, so
it's been too long. This happened like December or January. I think it was January of 24. So it's been over a year.
Oh, we've still got them. Everything's on file. I think we keep everything on file for 5 years just in case.
Oh, goody. Yay.
Ronie, that would make a great website.
Now she gave me a date. Mm-hmm. Now I can find it.
It's just, when was Amy signed up in December?
Because if it happened in the ambulance,
December of 23 or January of 24.
If it happened in the ambulance bay, I've got two cameras back there. we might be able to get the 3D version of it.
Oh hell yeah!
God. It was bad, but I didn't rip my pants. I didn't rip my pants, but I ripped my knee up, but it didn't rip my pants. So
yeah, could you imagine if we actually see something like pushing you, or you get some kind of like,
I didn't never. Cool. It was just like all of a sudden I was falling.
Or even by the motion of her body looking like not falling, but like like if something hits you here, right, your body's going to react. Where if you just jerk, it's going to react differently.
I don't know.
So do you feel like you were tripped up, or do you feel like you just got klutzy? You feel like you were tripped up? Mm-hmm. As if to say one of our spirits was like, I told you not to touch that?
Yeah, and you know what? I did go in there and apologize afterwards for touching the things. I did. Because
I wonder if our spirit had subtitles on when you were falling.
Probably like,
I gotcha.
You touched my buttons. I touched yours.
Yeah, and I was like,
well, I do have to say, OSPH, we've had some pretty unique experiences in that building where I know the building protects itself. I mean, we had, I think in the 7 years I've owned the building, we've had 2 or 3 successful break-ins where they actually got into the building. And one of the most fascinating ones was we had 2 college kids who came in. And the reason why they broke in is because they wanted to, are you ready for this? Rappel down the staircases. They brought like rappelling equipment and everything they were going to attach their whatever to, and rappel down the staircases. That's what they told the police officer when they got arrested.
I can see that perhaps at Harriman over, because the staircase at Harriman is.
It's cool. So, but what was really, really unique about it was the ring cameras went off. We caught them in the building, and unfortunately the police got there just a little too late. Like they got out of the building. The police showed up like, I don't even know, maybe 2 minutes later. And so they're walking through the building. And what we noticed is that the girl actually had her backpack on from college. And on the back of her backpack, there was a bunch of what looked like cards. And I'm going to assume they're like memberships to the gym because it was about that thick. I would say there was probably maybe 24 cards back there. So the police officer actually walked in one of the rooms that we had cleaned up like the day before. So it was spotless. It was the file room, where the yellow trash can is. So and the funny thing was we had a leak in there and we had cleaned it up that day before. So the police officer walks in there, and guess what's sitting on the floor? Right in the middle of the floor, the girl's student ID.
Wow.
With all of the cards that are on her
Smart one.
backpack. The only one that's laying on the floor is her student ID with her student number, her student address, and then whatever dorm room she was staying into. So the police officer on FaceTime picks it up and goes, "You think this is your person?" So I pulled back the cameras and I'm like, well, yeah, it's definitely a match. So we had them arrested literally within minutes. I mean, they were back in Chattanooga. They called the principal or the dean of the college and said, "Hey, we're following up on this, blah, blah, blah. I need to see so-and-so." They showed up at the college, arrested them, because, they broke in and entered, so we didn't have a choice. But, I mean, it was really funny because what is the likelihood out of somebody having 24 cards on their backpack, and the only one that falls off is the one that gives us everything we need to know about how to arrest her? I mean, to me, that's just, is that coincidence?
No.
Or like you, Amy, is that the building saying, hey, they broke in because they broke glass to get in, so it's like, we're going to get them. And we got them. They had to pay restitution, fix the glass and all other stuff. So I really, truly believe that some of these buildings do have some spirits, like you said, that really watch out for the building, and the owners and the volunteers and all of us, because I think they feel that what we're doing is right by the building.
Yeah.
And it was just a really, like I said, really unique experience. And the police officer, I mean, I've never seen a guy go, "This is the easiest arrest I'm ever going to make." He's like kind of smiling on FaceTime, and we're kind of joking around with them. And I was like, how much damage did they do? And they did, a significant amount of damage. And he says, well, if they just crawled in through an open window, it probably wouldn't have been such a big deal. We would have just, kind of slapped them on the wrist, but they literally broke a window to get in. So at that point in time, you're kind of like, throw the book at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you intentionally did that. And I don't know. I feel like why? Do you really think that you're not going to get caught?
$35. $35. I would have hooked the rappel lines up to the what do you call it if that's what they wanted to do. $35 between the two.
Please do that instead of breaking and entering.
Yeah, so now it costs them, I don't even know. Well, here's the other thing people don't understand is if you're going to college to do something that needs security clearance or is something, that's a felony. And that goes on your record. So whatever you're going to college for, you may have the opportunity to miss out on that opportunity that you were going to college for in the first place. Over $35.
Listen, y'all, $35 and you can do a day tour, okay? $35.
Yeah.
And it's worth every penny.
It is worth it. And you
Just
know
call
what?
us.
See stuff during the day.
Don't waste your future over $35.
No, because you're going to see stuff during the day that I've had things happen to me during the day there.
Well, what happened to you was during the day?
When I got screamed at or when I fell?
Both. Wasn't it?
Both. Yeah, both. Both were during the day.
Amy, are you waving at imaginary friends again?
No, my son just walked in. Everybody.
We got to keep the shots away from her.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Oh, and you too? Look, they're all here. No, it was my son walking in. He just came home.
Sure it was.
I saw them too, right? Didn't you see my friends? They're all here.
Yeah.
No, it was my kids walking in.
The meds are starting to wear off, huh, Kevin?
Yeah. Oh. Sorry.
I didn't.
Your subtitles shine through your little.
Uh-oh. How about that weather down there?
It's pollinating.
Yeah, green. It's not as green as it was. Thank God.
They were all making fun of me because the first time I ever witnessed like a pollination event in Tennessee, which up here in the north we don't get them because we got a little bit.
You don't?
Wind. Oh no! So I walked out of OSPH and the whole car is yellow, like yellow.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
welcome to it, sir.
Where'd this yellow dirt come from? Where'd this yellow dirt come from? Everybody's laughing at me. It's pollen. Like I didn't know. I mean, it was like that thick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My blue car became green.
You're about to be officially part of the South, sir.
I am.
So welcome to it.
Yep. Yeah, I
Oh,
have
you
to do
see?
that.
Exactly. Brooke said, and you can't see the comments, but Brooke said the best EVP she ever got was at Harriman during the day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wonder, hey, if she's there, if you're watching, Brooke, send it to me, because I can play it on the air. It is really cool. Have you guys ever heard it before?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you've never? So I'll have, hopefully she'll send it to me, and what we'll do is I'll give you the whole, what do you call it, synopsis of what we were doing. So we had, you guys know Shane and Grant Booher, Booher, Grant and Shane. Really great people. They were in Tennessee. They did a lot of our events. They're actually really good friends of Brooke and I and a bunch of the team. And they had come early for a public event one day. So it was myself, it was Brooke, it was Chris, and it was Shane and Shane's wife Grant. No, oh my God, it was Grant
He's
and
making the
Grant's
words.
wife Shay. And so you know where A3 is. We were sitting down all the way at A3 on the second floor, which I guess is really considered A2. But we all had our backs towards the wall, and we were facing the hallway and kind of looking at the nurses station. And we were just kind of casually having a conversation like we are today. And we all know that Brooke and some of our Chris's and all that are really scaredy. So we were talking about actually kind of like not rigging, but kind of doing things to the nurses station that the spirits would hopefully interact with and change. And one of them was there's like a swinging door that's on the nurses station. And so you can hear me talking about, yeah, it'd be really neat to like open up the door and come back and see if it's closed, or close the door, open it up and see if it, just to see if we can get some like really unique like footage out of it, put a camera there. So we're just kind of all talking, and as we are, Brooke sets her phone down kind of on the floor in front of her.
Brooke said she sent it to you.
Yep, and I've got it. So she sets her okay. So she sets her phone down on the floor in front of us. And so kind of the way it is I'm going to kind of visualize this. So I'm kind of sitting here. Brooke is to my left and kind of against the wall, and Chris is kind of over off against the nurses station. And then to the right of Brooke and I is actually Shay and Grant. So I'm going to see if you can actually hear this, or if you guys can hear this. I'll turn it up. And so you can hear all of our conversations, and then you hear something really bizarre. So let's see if we can do this. Right now.
Oh, I'm going to make a new exit. I ain't running down the hall.
Oh, you really don't see how big I am. You don't run. Just kill me. Why don't okay.
Can you do that again?
I know Brooke will run like the wind.
Okay, so do you guys hear the odd voice out? Can you actually hear it?
So, yeah,
it's like it's a different tone that sounds different than any of y'all.
It's actually kind of really unique, but the little voice, and I'll play it one more time because I don't even know where the microphone is on this.
No, you did good. You did good.
It was good. Yeah.
So if you actually pay attention, you can hear we're all adult voices, and then you hear a little girl say, "Can you do that again?"
Yes.
And what's really unique about this EVP is that we were all just conversing, and we didn't even know that voice had come on because it's like a 20-minute audio, and we just continued to keep talking, and nobody even like stops to like, what do you call it, respond to that or anything. So she plays it back, and we're all sitting there like, holy crap. Well, the location that we were actually at in the hospital was, there was a hotel that actually was built there prior to the hospital being there. And that hotel had burned down. And when it burned down, they said that there was loss of life with some children and adults, and it was a wood structure. And so we don't know like really where that voice came from. It was like a little girl from the hospital, girl from the hotel, or even a little girl who, whatever, passed away on the property. But it was really unique. And I think that, like, I sent that audio off to like 2 or 3 different people who analyze it, and none of them could come back with an explanation of how that voice got on there. So it was really, really kind of neat. And I know that, especially Harriman, we got a lot of groups that get stuff like that. We had a team that was in that they do, I think it was really neat. What they do is they come in, they kind of do an investigation, and then they leave all their equipment. They go for an hour, and they call it quiet time. So they'll actually go out and they'll have dinner or do whatever they're going to do, and they leave everything kind of going in the hospital for an hour. So they come back and they play back their recording, and they could hear like 1930s music being played on their voice recorders. And a little child talking and kind of humming to the song. So
Oh,
we
wow.
went back to try and figure out where that was coming from. And we went outside, played music as loud as we could. We kind of tried to recreate where the voice recorder was and where the music was coming from. And the brick building is so solid that actually sitting outside and screaming at the top of your lungs or playing music, you can't hear it inside. So we had no idea where it came from, but it was definitely like that 1930s, 40s kind of music. It was really, really kind of a neat situation. And yeah, and then to hear the little children kind of talking in the background while the music was playing, it was some of the best stuff we've ever caught out of O. And I know, Amy, you're there a lot, and that location is it's just really on fire.
It is, and I don't know if you know this, but when our team went into South Pittsburgh for the first time I had been there, but everybody else, it was their first time. And that's when we met Heather and Jeff, because they were our guides for the night. And so that's how we became friends. But
I'm sorry.
we love them. I made muffins.
We all do.
But we caught, I made muffins, remember?
Yes.
Anyways,
Blueberry?
no, pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
No, they were good.
They're amazing.
I'm not. They probably are, but I'm just not a fan of pumpkin.
It's not real pumpkin-y. It's not a pumpkin-y anyway. But anyways,
Okay.
So we came and we took our group there. Kevin and I was sitting in the body box, and Kevin was sitting outside doing I had the headphones on. We were doing the Estes method. So it comes across to him. No, Heather and Jeff were in there. And it came across on the walkie that they were getting smoke and they wanted Jeff to come and check it out. And he actually got to see it too. We didn't get to see it because, we were in the body box, but the team got to see it, smoke, and they were able to ask it to stop, and it stopped, and they were able to ask it to come back. Because, Jeff is like, because he's, they called him because, he's the chaperone, and he, like, hey, you know what, we got smoke out here. And so he's leaving thinking, oh my God, where's smoke coming from? And nothing was on fire. It was, our team had just got this smoke in Shadow Hall come out.
And it was billowing.
They asked it to leave. They asked it to leave.
He said this was not like anything that's been reported before, because before it's been reported as kind of like a pipe smoke.
Yeah.
Right.
And he said this was like billowing smoke coming out of the door. And then they said, can you stop? And it stopped. And then when they were like kind of shocked at the fact that it stopped and said, oh, okay, can you do that again? And here comes the smoke coming out again. So.
Yeah, I think that's really one of the phenomena that actually used to happen or still happens at OSPH is, like you said, the pipe smoke. And I know that we've done some public investigations in the ER waiting area where, like you said, the smoke is so dense. We actually had a gentleman while we were doing the Estes method, he was sitting on the couch and he started coughing, like to the point where, he was like gagging. And I was like, dude, what's wrong? He says, oh, it's so smoky over here. But he turned the flashlight on him and his whole head was just encompassed in smoke. To the point where, like it almost looked like a cartoon, like, where they put the clouds over the head. And it was that, but he's gagging and coughing and you're kind of looking at like, where's that coming from? Like, it's just one of the phenomena that I still can't figure out to this very day how that happens at OSPH. And yeah, it's neat.
And it's obviously it's something that can be controlled by the spirit, whomever is creating it.
Right.
Because, they asked it to stop and it did. And then they asked it to come back and it did. And it's like, so that's obviously intelligent. There's definitely a lot of intelligent hauntings there. There's definitely a lot of residual too. A lot of the things like the knocking on the doors in like when rounds would be made. That I have experienced that multiple times in the hospital. Early in the morning, like when it would be like rounds, when a nurse would be making their rounds, checking on everyone, hey, coming in, gonna check your vitals, and it's like that kind of thing. And it's like, That to me is, but then the scream. I had the scream. The scream really.
That just happened to you recently too, I think, right?
Yeah. That was definitely in the last 8 months or so.
Yeah.
6,
Oh, it's that.
I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago, I think.
that
right?
really that really stuck with me because I was there completely by myself.
I remember.
Just the sweeping. And then I mean the scream was like blood curdling. And I was like, oh my.
But you had the presence to sweep in the zigzag. So
I did sweep in a zigzag motion. So, because I thought maybe that would save me. Because I didn't want to turn my back to where the sound had come from and have anything sneak up on me.
So Ronie,
again,
at least she kept
these
sweeping.
These are ghosts. And I'm like, well, they could come wherever they want to. They don't have to necessarily come where the sound came from. They they could disappear right in front of me. They could be riding the broom that I'm cleaning right now. Like, rather than like, I'm sorry. Are you using this broom? I'll leave. It's fine. I do have to clean up my mess while I'm here before I leave. But so yeah, I did quickly. I did zigzag quickly and get out of there. Clean up my mess and go. And there was like snow coming. Like it was, you could tell that the weather was coming in when that happened. And yeah, it was.
Well, that's a good time for stuff to happen.
Yeah. Very unique location for sure. It really kind of never surprises you, and the different types of activity that goes on is, like you said, anything from smoke to screams to, I mean, you name it, it happens there.
Full on conversations. You know what I call the TV people. You know, it's like you got a TV on in the other room. You know, but you don't. But you hear it sounds like the TV's on. It happens in my house a lot, and I have the TV people a lot here. My TV people also play music. And so you think that there's something on in the other room, and I've walked around the house looking for it, and nothing's on. My kid's asleep. His TV's not on. My TV's not on. But
when it just doesn't happen then.
Full on. No, it's all.
Because I mean, I've heard it.
You've heard it, yeah.
So what you need to do is do what I did at my house. Is you got to put Ring cameras in, or some type of camera that you can listen. And I know, like, I'll be in Tennessee, and I'll get a notification that there's somebody walking around in my house. You know, just motion. So I go to turn it on, and I'll turn the volume on, and same thing. I can hear people talking in my house to the point where I'm like, did I leave the TV on? Like, what's going on? And you know, there's no, I mean, it's, and I think they follow you home. I mean, I think a lot of our residents would come check up on us, and, you know, I mean, they don't mean any damage or, I mean, I've never had any negatives, but I really do. I think they get attached. They're our friends. Well, I think they're our friends.
Yeah, they're bored. They want to see what we do when we're not there.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
and they don't stick around long.
No, they don't stay.
Yeah, in all of the investigations I've done, I think that maybe 4 times something has come home with me. And, you know, sometimes it's like unbelievably loud over the course of about 3 or 4 days.
Right. And then they get bored and leave.
And then they go back. Yeah. And so it's like, don't worry about it. They'll be gone. It's okay.
Yeah, just stick with them a couple days. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, I always, when I leave, like, hey, you know, this is your home. You might want to stay here because it's not so great at my house. It's not so fun. I got cats, and it's not, you know, different people coming in to check on you and everything. And they're all like, yeah, I'm totally down. Let me see what you got going on in your house. I'm here for it. Okay.
I would be like, can't you guys clean the litter box while I'm gone?
For real. Can I put you to work? Like, can you do something? Like,
just feed water the cats and clean the litter box, and you're golden.
Like, keep the cat out of the cupboard. Now, like, he says that, but no joke. Like, I had to put baby locks. My son had to install those child-proof locks on my cabinets in my kitchen
because the cats were getting in and gourmet and whatever they wanted.
Sleeping on the bread.
Just one cat in particular thought bread is so soft. And you know what?
Nice bed.
I'm going to put my giant ass on this fluffy bed.
So it must be the red one then, huh?
It is. It absolutely is.
She's around here somewhere.
I don't know where she went. Don't ask. She's behind it.
Oh, she's up there on the back of the couch.
She's sleeping. Shh, don't talk. Yeah, don't say her name. And we got this guy. He's doing a good job. He's had to have the eye medicine, but now when he thinks, because when he gets eye medicine, he gets treats. So now he just goes and he sits next to me,
Waiting
and he's
for the
like
eye medicine.
tapping me. It's like, hey,
Open the
time-
cupboard, please. Open
I
the
need
cupboard,
some
please.
and the treats are sitting right over there.
I need some bread to sleep on.
I'll be at my
Yeah.
Yeah. Like after I had to throw away multiple loaves of bread, I was like, you know what?
Time to lock the cabinets.
Time to lock the cabinets.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So it's not because I have infants, because my baby is 18, but then I've got this orange asshole that lives here.
Oh, so the cat's not 18.
No, my child is, but I had to put child locks on for this orange asshole that lives here. That's not her. No, yeah, she's over there. So yeah, the hospitals, they have their own. Now I have had an encounter with Dr. Taylor.
Okay, hold that thought. You guys continue to talk. I'll be right back. Doorbell just rang. Gotta see who.
Oh.
My pizza might be being delivered. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Food.
Okay, now that he's gone, we can
talk about other things.
other
What are we
things.
going to talk about? We
I
talk
don't
about ghosts.
So Ronnie, tell me, what is your
I'll pretend to be Ronnie.
your favorite experience at the hospital?
Oh, my favorite experience. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Brooke, can you fill me in? I could make this work if you would help me out. If you're listening, girl, help me out. If you weren't listening.
We can just wait.
No, but that EVP is.
Yeah, Brooke, thank you so much for sending
you,
that to
Brooke,
him. That was
wow.
And it was clear enough. A, that you could hear what it said.
Mm-hmm.
B, that you could hear it was not any
And
other voices that you.
It wasn't anybody else's voice.
Yeah, that's one of the best I've heard.
Yeah, that's definitely Class A.
Yeah. Thanks for
that. Is
Oh, she said the nurse on the third.
Oh, that's his. Okay, so she's helping me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my most scariest moment.
What happened?
There was this nurse
Uh-huh.
on the third floor.
Always a nurse.
Always a nurse.
Yeah.
It's always lucky 3.
Yeah.
Right on the third floor. There was a nurse.
I've had a similar experience.
And I think did that happen before you? Oh, look, he's back. Look, I was trying to pretend to be you, and Brooke was trying to help me.
She did an amazing job.
The nurse
with Brooke's help.
With Brooke's help, yeah. Nurse on the third floor. Yes, sure.
Is one of your favorite experiences.
Oh, one of my favorites?
Yeah. See, I was pretending to be you, and I was like, "Oh, that was your first full body."
Yeah, that was my first full body. It was my first full body intelligent interaction with a apparition. Yeah. So, kind of the long and short of it is, we were at South Pittsburgh Hospital. I want to say it was 10, 11 years ago now. It's been a long time. It's prior to us owning the hospital. And so it was one of those nights that, when you're on a ghost hunt and absolutely nothing is going on, like nothing, like there's more activity in the courtyard with the frogs, like belching or whatever the hell they do than I mean, it was croaking. That's the word I was looking for. Croaking, not belching.
They may belch though. Who knows?
It's kind of a belch.
I got questions.
Yes, ma'am.
About belching. Frogs, can they belch?
Kind of the same concept, isn't it?
I would think.
Okay, continue on.
Anyway,
I was going to Google belching frogs because now you got me kind of curious. Like belching frog. Where's the pizza for me?
Pizza, mister.
Oh, it's not Lou Malnati's. It's just local. It's Papa Savario's because you guys mentioned pineapple pizza. So I'm like,
no, you didn't. You got pineapple pizza.
Anyway, so getting back to my story.
Yeah, Amy.
No, so there was really nothing going on. It was kind of like one of those nights. So one of the claims of the hospital prior to closing was that on the third floor, there was babies crying. So the last baby was born in like 1986. And the building closed in 1999. So it was like 13 years there where like healthcare officials and workers would actually hear the hospital or babies crying in the nursery. So we decided to go up to the third floor and put what do you call it, an iPhone on kind of the ledge and have a baby cry. And within about, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, all of a sudden you see a nurse kind of walk past. She kind of stares at me, gives me kind of a dirty look, gives my partner a dirty look that was next to me, opens up a door and just disappears. And I remember that yeah, I remember that was my first intelligent full body apparition where she looked at me as if to say, you're in my department and it's after what they would call visiting hours to get the hell out. Yeah. But I can remember the look. I can remember the blonde hair, like everything like it was yesterday. And, that was the day that I called the owners. Well, it was the night that I made the decision that I really, really wanted to buy South Pittsburgh Hospital. And I had called the owners in the morning and made them an offer. And they're like, yeah, we're not selling you. Primarily because the old owners, you guys remember, you were there prior to us owning it as well too, didn't invest any money into the building. The building was literally kind of falling apart around itself, and they were making bank. I mean, they were collecting a lot of money and not putting any money back into the building. So why give away your gold mine?
Carpet fresh and spraying bleach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were making so money that they weren't even paying the taxes on the building. I mean, they're just pocketing everything. So obviously, we all know that you can only go so long before the government says, "Hey, we want our property taxes and we want a chunk of what you're making."
Yeah.
So they didn't come up with it. So we ended up buying it, at an IRS auction, and yeah, that's kind of the way it's been. And like I said, it's just an amazing location, and I think OSPH is kind of unique in the fact that when you go, it's one of those locations that. Like we were talking about this, I was on a podcast last night, and somebody was asking, they weren't familiar with either OSPH or O. And Amy, I think you as well will agree with me, is when you walk into OSPH, you kind of get this homey feel. You kind of get this, I guess you would kind of call it a very soothing, relaxing kind of haunt.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have to look over your shoulder. Everything's pretty straightforward, and I think you have a really relaxing investigation. I mean, at the end of the day, you can literally sit down and have an interaction with a spirit, fall asleep 10 minutes later, and not really feel, I don't even know what the word is, but on edge. Yet you walk into Harriman Hospital.
Now, Harriman.
I was going to say, you walk into Harriman Hospital and you're constantly looking over your shoulder. You're feeling like somebody's following you through the corridors. You're looking to go around the next corner and see some burly guy standing there about ready to, throw you down the stairs because you don't belong in his hospital.
Yeah.
And it's more of a, I don't want to say an uptight haunt, but it's more of an intense haunt where like when you're there, you're just really not comfortable. You're kind of never really at ease. You're kind of really not feeling that homey hospital feel. And so somebody was like, when we were on the podcast like last night, they were like, well, how could that be? You own both. And I was like, well, I mean, they take on two completely separate personalities. And I mean, neither one of them want to hurt you, or, there's nothing really aggressive in either one of the buildings. But when you walk into Harriman, you get chills. You're kind of like, and Amy, you know this. I mean, you walk in that building and you're kind of on edge, and, you're walking down that one hallway that seems to never end. And you're kind of looking over your shoulder the whole time going, who's following me and what's going on? So yeah, just two completely different buildings. And yet they're both hospitals. They're both municipal hospitals. They're both, I mean, at the end of the day, they're identical. I mean, they're built the same way. It's just really, really kind of a neat situation. And I think that's what, like, OSPH is just, like I said, I could sit in OSPH in a chair in the middle of any hallway, and if I'm tired, fall asleep and not worry about anything. I won't sit down at Harriman and fall asleep because I don't know who's going to be over me when I wake up in the afternoon or whatever. And it's kind of frightening. That.
Now, you and I are on the same page with this. This guy feels right at ease.
The Harriman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. But see, Rhonda's the same way. Yeah, Rhonda's the same way. Rhonda walks those halls like nothing's happening. I walk in there and I'm like, yeah, I mean, as the building owner, I'm not going to lie to the American, I'm not going to lie to her. I avoid Harriman. I mean, I love the building. I love that we own it.
It is a beautiful building. It is beautiful.
And it's beautiful and it's extremely active, but for some odd reason, it just gives me the chills. Like, and it's not a negative chill. It's just creepy. I guess is the right word. It's just, yeah.
It is. And I myself, one time was, I had to take a breath for that because it was a lot for me. I was alone in Harriman in the nighttime, completely alone. And I'm just like, just so you know, sometimes you hear knocking on the window. I'm sorry. Could you have told me that in the morning? Really? Is that what we're going to do here? And I went, and she goes, is that going to scare you? She's like, okay.
Have a great investigation. See you in the morning.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, it's just some knocking on the window. It's fine. Talking about like the courtyard. So someone would be out in the courtyard tapping on the windows of the chapel, aka the crew room. Now, I will say, did not hear that. Hope to never hear that. Especially if I'm by myself. Okay. That woman is a rock star.
Oh yeah. Well, I know. I'll be walking down the hallway and we'll be doing, because she runs the building. I mean, there's no lie. She manages the building. It's her love. I mean, she spends more time with the hospital than she does her husband and family, and great for her. But I mean, we'll be walking down the corridor and a door will slam shut, and I'll jump, and she's like, "Oh, that happens every day."
Yeah, she just
and then she'll name the spirit that's closing the door. She'll be like, "Hey, Eddie, how you doing?" Like it's no big deal. And here I am shivering and shaking.
And she's like, "You see him over there, right?" And I'm like, "But okay, I believe you." And you've made friends with them, and that's your and no, she's a freaking rock star. That woman is a rock star.
Well, I remember we were filming a major motion picture there like 2 or 3 years ago, and a lot of the key grips and even some of the actors and actresses that were in the movie were like, "Hey, is this place really haunted? Can we?" And Rhonda's like, "Oh, after you guys are done filming and you grab dinner, we'll take you back." So she's got like 25 of these key grips and actors and actresses and once again, they're walking down the hall and things are going on. And, these are Hollywood people, like literally from Hollywood. And stuff's going on. And I go there the next morning and one of the actresses, she pulls me aside and she goes, "That woman's fucking nuts." and I said, "Why? What happened?" She says, "Because we're walking down the hall last night, after we're done filming." And she says, one of the doors slammed shut in one of the what do you call it? The patient rooms. And I said, "Really?" She says, "Ronnie, there's no windows open. There's no doors. There's no breeze." And she says, and Rhonda just looked at it like, "Oh, hey, Fred."
Yeah.
And we're all shaking. And we're all
walking.
Yeah.
We're all like, okay.
Yeah. And she's telling me, she's like, this woman. And I'm like, and she says, there's, like I said, there's 25 grown men and women, and we're all shaking. And this 60-some-year-old woman with a hobble is just like
me.
Like, no big deal. Like, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's our Rhonda.
Completely alone. I mean, she's just the no fear. I mean, none of us are worthy of her.
No, no. And it's funny because, I don't sleep a whole lot. I don't know why, but I don't sleep a whole lot in Eastern time. You guys are an hour ahead of us. And so I'll be laying in bed and Rhonda will wake up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to check on the hospital. And she'll send me this message at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, "Listen to this. Get on the ring." So I mean, she's sending me these messages like at all godly hours of the night.
Yeah.
The woman literally sits in her bed at night and listening to the cameras in the building, and she's like, "Check that. What do you think of this one? What do you think?" And I'll be darned if half the time you can't hear voices or a door open or close and she's just like, "Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool." And I'm like,
no fear.
Is it? Like, is it really? You're not scared to death? She's like, "No.
No fear. Not a bit. No, like she's who we all should grow up to be as paranormal investigators.
Mm-hmm.
We should all grow up to be.
I think we should all just grow up to be humans like her because she is the nicest, sweetest,
I agree with that.
genuine woman you have ever met in your entire life.
Is.
I mean, she's the kind of woman who hasn't eaten in 3 days, and if you haven't eaten in 4 days, she'll give you her meal.
Yeah,
She'd literally look at you and say, "I'll starve." I mean, she is just like you said, just a godsend.
Hospital, she makes sure she has something in case you're hungry. You know, she's that person. She's like, well, I got this just in case you might be hungry. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're the best person ever.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I would kind of like to feature on our show just a few of the volunteers, the people that actually make it all go around. And, you know, like I have interviewed her before. It's been a couple years, so I need to bring her back on because no fear in that woman, but she has the best stories too. She is.
Oh,
you have a great team. I mean,
we do. Everybody from Amy to, you know, all of you guys are really great. I mean, you know, I think we all have our quirks, and some of the volunteers don't necessarily all get along for whatever reason. You know, and when you're putting 45 different, when you're putting 45 different personalities in a building, I mean, there are people that just aren't going to get along. I mean,
that's just human nature.
Yeah,
that's just human nature, you know. Like we all have our people we like and we don't like, and it's like,
but they all share.
But we all try to work together because we all have the same goal: is to keep those buildings alive, so that they don't become, you know, a thing of the past.
Right. And I think that's what's really cool. I think we all, as you said, we all come together for kind of a common goal. And, you know, I mean, we're a giant chain where, you know, every link is important to the next one. And I think that's really important. And I think, you know, I always say this as a building owner, and I know there's many of us out there, if we don't have people like Amy and Rhonda and Brooke and, you know, everybody, Heather, Jeff, the whole list of people, it goes down to Sam and everybody. I mean, you just don't have anything, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones who help me make sure that the hospitals are healthy and our customers are having a great experience, and, you know, our residents aren't getting bored, especially watching some of the comical routines that we all do while we're in the buildings. But, you know, I mean, as a, you know, as a finely tuned machine,
I act perfect when I'm there.
Should I pull up videos now or later?
No.
But I think that's what
happens at the hospital stays at the hospital.
Oh, well, sometimes.
Yeah.
No,
sometimes it's just too good not to share.
Sometimes they are. I mean, some of the things I have witnessed on camera watching our staff, you know, especially, you know, when the raccoon got in the building and I was chasing it back and forth, and I share that video with everybody because it's just it's classic. It is classic.
It's perfectly wonderful.
Yeah, that raccoon, you know, and I mean, you know, Josh was there. Josh helped us find the hole that they were getting into, and we haven't had a raccoon since that one that we chased out of the building, kind of. But anyways, yeah. So I mean,
like how he said, kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Look, kind of.
Kind of chased it.
We kind of chased it. He kind of met, his demise.
He left the
building.
He left, all right.
Yeah, he left.
Well, Tennessee has got, you know, I don't know if all states have it, but they got really strict laws on how you have to get rid of raccoons, and I didn't know about it, and I'm not going to jail over a raccoon. So
you don't have to, because he left.
Yeah,
he left.
He did. He did leave. But I mean, there's like a $25,000 fine if you're caught relocating them.
Oh wow! What about your subtitles, my friends? Yeah, you can't see the comments, but Brooke said, I'm going to start wearing a body cam to get Ronie doing funny stuff and Amy's subtitles.
There's a whole show right there.
But Brooke needs to be part of the show too, because she's got her own subtitles. So.
Well, and Chris Williams just jumped on because now.
And he said, hey.
But I will tell you, talking about good person right there, Chris Williams, when he gets scared and runs down the hall.
I love to hear him scream.
That is classic. I
love to hear him scream.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Chris. I love you too, but I mean, I do. When you scream, it is. Yes, it is like perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you said. I mean, we've got such a diverse group of people, and I mean, you take Chris in there. And, oh man, he's hysterical.
He is. Oh, we had a hello crossover Paranormal Society. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good people right there.
Chris said, "I'm brave." And then Crystal said, "No, ma'am, I'm the behind the scenes kind of girl." Really?
Which you do remember the night that we did that fear challenge live, and I stuck her on the second floor, and she was so scared. She says, "Come get me." I'm like, "In a little bit." I still get shit from that. Oh yeah, she was up there, and there was something interacting with her, and she was scared to death to the point where she was almost crying. And she got on the walkie-talkie, and she was like, "Come get me." I'm like, "No, this is making for great entertainment." So I told everybody, "Give her a few more minutes." And yeah, and then you could see the real fear on her face. I'm like, I better go up there and get her, otherwise I'm going to get thrown down a staircase.
Mm-hmm. And she blamed it on a ghost and get away with it.
Yeah, whoopsie, it ghosted it.
But between Brooke and Chris, I mean, the two of them, when something fearful goes down. See what I did there, Chris? When something fearful goes down,
she said, "I was crying. You told everyone to leave me alone." Oh, Ronie!
Wow!
Gotta make good TV, guys.
That's a dick move, though.
It is kind of a dick move.
Yeah. He's like,
but it's good TV.
It's good TV.
It's good TV. Sorry. I mean, and you know what?
It was good TV.
It's a couple years later, nothing hurt her, and she's doing fine. And
yeah, it looks like she's let it go too. So that's good.
Oh yeah, she's completely let it go.
Yeah.
Hang on, listen, girl, we'll figure something out. We'll do something together, okay?
Well, she did forget about it. Was okay with it until you just threw fire or gasoline on the fire.
She brought it up.
She brought it up. I didn't even know. I was completely innocent in this, but then I saw that she said she was crying, and you told everyone to leave her alone. Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a dick move, but I mean, it got really. I mean, it was real popular. We were doing a live, and I mean, man, we got a bunch of likes on that.
Popular dick move. Yeah. Okay, frozen in fear. I couldn't even stand to run and get my cardio in those hospitals. I'm like, bless her. She couldn't even run,
even though she's fast.
She is fast, but she gets her cardio in there.
She's really funny because she wears flip-flops everywhere, and you can hear running down the hall. You know how the flip-flop kind of hits the back of your heel, and it makes that kind of sucking noise? It's really funny when Brooke is, when she's doing something in the hospital and she's got to go in the dark from point A to point B, you hear... I think the woman's got like a size 5 pair of shoes, and I mean, you ever watch The Roadrunner where he's flying down the road and you see that flame and smoke behind her? That's like Brooke when something scary goes on.
I'm waiting for her comment to show up. That's what I'm waiting for. It's like we're over time, but I'm waiting for Brooke's last comment on that before we close it up. Well, wait for that, but thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it. We always enjoy talking to you.
Oh, likewise. I mean, this is one of my favorites because half the time we don't even talk about what we're supposed to talk about. We go off on raccoon tangents.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. I mean, it's still part of it. We still talk about the things that go on, and people think that I think paranormal investigators are what you see on TV. There's a lot behind that. That's
this
a
is
little
what
bit
they
more
are,
like this.
Not on TV.
Yeah, this is what we are when we're, when we sit in rooms for hours talking to ourselves,
or in a bar talking about the stuff that we want to talk about.
Right, and then you get and a lot of times that's when you get your best EVPs. It's when you're just having a whole conversation that has nothing to do with like, do you know who you are? Do you know what year it is? Do you know what the day is? Who's the president? That kind of shit. They're probably like, and they're like wanting to hear what we're talking about, even though it may be some dumb shit, but they're like, hold on, this is funny. I want to hear. You do get most EVPs, I think, that way. When you're not
and don't you think don't you think it'd get really old if we were constantly saying, what's your name?
Yeah.
How old are you? I mean, they want to be part of it because they're probably catching up on current events. We're talking about other things. They're probably like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson's really dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Exactly.
When did Johnny Carson die? Am I a ghost? No, I'm just kidding. I know he died.
Oh, shoot.
But there's somebody I heard the other day that I didn't know was dead, and I was like, oh, must have missed that. Then I had to ask Alexa. Alexa knows all my secrets. I ask her a lot. What is this? Oh, ew. Okay, that's just never mind.
My tennis shoes are heavy. I can run clean. What are those flip flops? You have a way to find me.
Follow the flip flop, she said.
Oh,
Brooke, I love you. It's like what was the lady that left the breadcrumbs?
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel. She's like, I'll just leave my flip flops. Just follow the flip flops.
Dude, that's hilarious. But
I love that.
But Ronnie, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Always.
Yeah, you're one of our favorites to have on here.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. You're one of my favorite shows or podcasts or whatever the hell we call these to be on as well, too.
So, and I will see. I
couldn't hear you.
I'm the favorite part of the show.
Oh, and Amy Farley, you're like one of the reasons why I really like being on the show because you're one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
I thought so. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. And I will see you in a couple of weeks.
What are y'all talking about?
Nothing?
Oh.
But I bet if you replayed it back, you could probably find out, Kevin.
I will.
I will.
I will.
Anyways, so thank you for being on tonight, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. I'm the favorite part of the show. You're right, Brooke.
I can't argue with that, Brooke.
Yeah, well, I can't argue. You did give us some good stuff tonight, my girl. We appreciate it. So I will see the two of y'all in a couple of weeks.
You will.
At the public.
You will.
And so I'll see y'all then. Thank y'all so much.
Are you coming to the Old South Pittsburgh one or the Harriman one?
Old South?
So the 26th of April.
26, yeah.
Yeah, with what's the name of the team that's hosting for us that night? Barbie Hershey.
Where's their team from?
What's the name of their?
I know it's Barbie, but I can't think of.
Gosh, I forgot. Yeah, so this year we're doing some
Night Song.
Night Song, that's it.
Night
So this year it's kind of cool. We're having guest investigators from our area local who are coming to do some of the public investigation, and I think Night Song is going to be there. I think we had the Bench Breaking Broads. We've got a couple other groups lined up for the rest of the year. So yeah, kind of exciting, kind of neat.
Yeah. You could do a night of historic ghost watch.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a public.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
There's and Ronnie, there is something I do want to talk to you about part of some of the talent that we have on the team that I think you would be interested in. And so we'll have a sidebar on that at some point.
Do that. But
you guys know where to find me.
Hmm?
So anyway, thank you all for listening tonight. I appreciate you, especially Brooke, because you gave us the great stories. And Chris, thank you for joining in.
And the Trail of Flip-Flops.
I'm looking forward to the Trail of Flip-Flops. Now I'm gonna
because that means she's terrified. So
I'm gonna have to pay attention to her flip-flops now because I don't know that I have to. I've seen her wearing flip-flops, but like when we were doing our the little video you had us all do. Yeah. I did. I played a broom.
You played a mean broom too.
I did,
so it was good.
But Brooke got the fun part because she had the blower, so she was making all of our hair blow. Yeah, we were all fancy. It was fun. Anyway, so thank y'all for listening, and we love you. And we'll have you back again soon, of course. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Have a great night, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You too.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.